Good morning class, we're here today to learn how to safely make a cup of tea. So we're just going to start by introducing ourselves. So I'll go first. My name's Natasha. Where do I see myself in 5 years? I'd like to have a successful teaching academy, teaching students to do aesthetics. So now we're going to move on to yourselves. So would you like to start?
My name's Liam Millen. Where would I like to see myself in 5 years? With my own business and very successful.
That's great. And we're going to help you get there today.
Fantastic.
So I'm just going to run through our lesson objectives for today and go through some group rules. So the learning objectives for today: understand the safety precautions and hazards of making a cup of tea. Understand the steps involved in making a cup of tea. Develop the skills to follow the recipe in order to make a cup of tea. Now that will be a practical session. Just a few group rules which I would like you to follow, please. So please be polite and respectful at all times. Engage and participate in the lesson, and most of all, have fun and learn. So this has just got today's date on, which is the 10th of January 25. I'm just going to hand this to you just in case you want to have a look over. You can recap on the objectives. If you need to have a look at the group rules, then you can have a little look over. So this is yours to keep, okay?
Thank you.
So I also have written down some step-by-step instructions. This is the basis of making a cup of tea. So these are the step-by-step instructions. We're also going to watch a short clip on YouTube that will also show you how to make a cup of tea, just to give you a bit of an insight and some knowledge before we get into the practical session. So I'll read out the step-by-step instructions. If you'd just like to put your papers down for now, while I go over the step-by-step instructions, okay? So I do need your concentration at this time, just while I go over this. So, number 1, check the area for any hazards. Number 2, gather all the equipment needed and lay out where needed. Number 3, fill the kettle up with water and put the switch on. Number 4, place the tea bag into the cup. Number 5, add boiling water to the cup. Please be careful at this time. Now this will be a hazard. You want to make sure that when you're putting the water into the cup, it doesn't splash out and you don't burn yourself, as this would scald you. Number 6, leave to stand for 30 seconds, then stir and drain the tea bag. Number 7, carefully take out the tea bag and put it in the bin.
Miss, can I interrupt you, please?
Of course you can.
Can you put that phone on airplane mode, only because if somebody rings, it'll disrupt the class and it'll disrupt the video. It'll stop the video from working.
Yes,
So if you
course.
pull it down and just put it on airplane mode.
Here we go, it's on airplane mode. That is very good, thank you. Thanks for taking that in. So back to the step-by-step instructions. Number 8, add milk if you have white tea. Do not add milk if you have black tea. So when you're asking someone if they want a cup of tea, you will be asking them, do they take milk? Do they take sugar? This is the point where they'd say yes, no, I have milk. So if you have milk, you add it in. If they have sugar, you ask them the required amount. Do they have 1, 2, 3, or they might not have sugar at all. So this is where you would be asking the person you're making a cup of tea for, taking notes, and remember that you do it correctly. Number 9, if you take sugar, now add the desired amount of teaspoons. Leave this step if you do not take sugar. Number 10, let the cup of tea cool down to the desired temperature, then enjoy. So you do not want to make sure that you do not pick up the cup of tea when it's scalding hot, freshly made, otherwise you will burn your mouth. This is another hazard. Make sure it's cooled down to the right temperature before you enjoy your cup of tea. So this is the step-by-step instructions for you to keep hold of and have a read over later on, okay? So now we are going to watch a step-by-step video on YouTube.
How to make
So
a
if you
cup
try
of
and just
tea.
pull your chair
Like
out so you
that,
can focus on this.
okay. To make your cup of tea, you will need the following materials and ingredients.
Yeah, make sure you're doing that.
These include a kettle, a cup and spoon, some water, a tea bag, some milk, and some sugar. Step 1. Fill the kettle. Now switch the kettle on. Step 2. Place the tea bag in the cup. And wait for the kettle to boil. Step 3. Once the kettle's boiled, add the water to the cup. And leave to brew. Step 4. Remove the tea bag. And add milk. Step 5. If required, add sugar. And stir. And finally, step 6. Taste. Cheers.
Now I prefer my tea a lot darker than that, but personal preference.
It just looked like it
Give,
was.
you, give us your input.
I think
How
it,
do you look at that cup of tea?
I think it was a terrible cup of tea that looked pale. I think the tea bag needed to be in a little bit longer, and I'm not too keen on sugar.
Right, okay. So now that we've watched that video and we have some input, we are now going to move on to the practical side, okay? So I'm just going to ask you to move your chair back a little bit for me.
Which way? This way?
Yeah, backwards, just facing me though. Right, okay, so we're going to get...
So I can get better view.
Well done. So now we are going to get everything out ready.
Do I still need this sheet?
No, you can put it down at the minute. I just need your full attention on me, okay? So we're going to get everything ready now, what we need to make a cup of tea. So first of all, going to grab a cup out. We'll get a teaspoon. You'd also ask the person at this point to take milk in your cup of tea, so I'm going to ask you, if you like a cup of tea, do you have milk?
Just a little bit.
Okay, so let's get the milk out. So now I am going to fill the kettle up to the desired amount. So if you're making 1 cup of tea, you only want to add a little bit of water in, just enough, as you don't want to waste the water, and it also uses more electricity the more you fill the kettle up, okay? So just try and be precise, don't overfill the kettle. Also need to be careful when you're coming from the sink back over to where you're putting the kettle, that you don't cause any spillages, because without realising, when you're coming back there's any spillages on the floor, or you knock it, you spill it, you could fall and hurt yourself. So just be extra careful, okay? Make sure your hands are dry, because we're also going to check that the kettle is switched on. So my hands are dry, because if I'm going near a plug socket we can't have wet hands, okay? So that's very important. So that's switched on. So now the kettle is switched on. You will always have a little lever like this. Sometimes it could be a button that you're pressing, and we'll just let that boil on, okay? So we're going to take out the tea bags out of the canisters. Place it in there. We'll also then, at this point as well, you're getting a bit of knowledge. Ask the person, do you take sugar in your cup of tea? So Liam, do you take sugar in your cup of tea?
No, but I usually take honey, but that's in coffee. So today I'll have a cup of tea with no sugar in it.
Okay, that's great. Make sure that you do ask the person, do they have milk, do they have sugar? Don't just assume that this is how they have their cup of tea just because you do. You don't want to make them a cup of tea because of intolerances to dairy, so you don't just assume straight away that they have milk because of an intolerance, okay? So always ask prior, do you have milk, do you have sugar, then you know, okay? So we're just going to let this boil. You just need to be extra careful once it's finished. As you can see, you've got the steam coming up from here. That will be very hot. Make sure that you do not put your hands near this, as you're going to burn yourself. So we're going to wait for the click. That means the kettle's boiled. Now be very careful at this point when you lift it up. You don't want to spill any water out. Your free hand, keep it far away, as you don't want to burn yourself. Now before I add the milk, I personally like to give it a little stir. This just gets all the flavour out of the tea bag. I just do this quite a few times as it gets the full extract of the tea bag. Personal preference. Some people like you just to dip the tea bag in, add the milk, take it out.
I'm actually going to drink this cup of tea because I haven't had a cup of tea in a long time.
Well, I hope this cup of tea is very nice.
I usually drink coffee in the morning. Only one coffee of the day. One coffee a day, sorry. But I haven't drunk a cup of tea for a long time. And I'm going to enjoy this because I think you've made it really well.
Thank you. I do hope you enjoy the cup of tea. So now that I see that it's dark enough and it's full of flavour, this is where I would take the tea bag out. I'm just going to ask you to move your chair ever so slightly because you're next to the bin and I need to get it in there. Don't want any accidents. So you're just going to carefully get your teaspoon. If you want to stand over and watch, you just squeeze it against the cup like this to make sure that you don't have any boiling water coming out, okay? And then I just do this over the cup for a couple of seconds just to make sure that when you get them into the tea bag there's no boiling water coming from it, and then you're going to pop this in the bin. And you said you want just a little bit of milk, didn't you?
Yeah, I'll let you know when. A little bit more. That's perfect, thank you very much.
Right, so then you're just going to pop that over there for now. So you want to sit down, I'll put this on the mat, okay, as it is very hot so you won't be having it right now, okay? So we are just going to run over how you think today's lesson went. So I'm gonna ask you now for your feedback. Do you understand how to make a cup of tea, the steps required?
Yeah.
If you feel confident in making a cup of tea, then I am going to ask you now if you are going to enjoy the practical session in making a cup of tea. Now it's your turn, okay?
Yeah. Right, so...
Well, do you want me to get the cup and everything out for you? Are you going to be okay?
I'll do it, yeah. I'll be fine. Right, so... The cup...
Right, so now that you feel confident in the steps required to make a cup of tea, I'm going to ask you to come and make a cup of tea, okay? Overseen by me. So if you'd like to stand up. They are the step-and-step instructions. You can always look at them if needed, okay? Do you feel confident enough?
I do, yeah.
Okay, let's go. So first of all, I'm going to ask them if you like milk, sugar. So I'm going to ask you now to get the cup out, okay?
I'm going to pick a Grinch cup today because it's just been Christmas and this is one of my favourite cups. So we get a tea bag, we put the tea bag in the cup, and what did you say before? We fill the kettle to the required amount so we don't waste water and electricity.
That's amazing, well done. You've done very well there.
Thank you.
Shows you have a keen listener.
And a keen learner.
Yeah. I hope this cup of tea is as good as what I've made.
Probably not, but we'll see. Right, so make sure the kettle's on and there's the switch and you have to switch it down.
Yeah.
Right. And wait for the kettle to boil. I think you're running low on milk as well.
Well, you also need to make sure you have the supplied stock in.
Well, it's still...
Before you offer a cup of tea, make sure you have enough milk.
Well, it's still quite a lot for a couple of cups of teas.
Some people don't take milk, so we'd be doing very well there.
Right, so...
Do not touch anything, you need to let it go up on its own and listen for the click.
So now we lift, there's the click. So, spoon and we fill. Stand back so it doesn't splash.
Also, you need to be careful with the steam rising. If it's rising a bit quick, you make sure you move your hands away, okay, so you don't burn yourself.
Right, so...
Now you want to ask, do they take milk or sugar?
Yeah, do you take milk or sugar?
So, I have both. I have a little bit of milk and 2 sugars.
A little bit of milk and 2 sugars. Sugar's not good for you.
Nope, but that's why we like it.
But that's not my preference, is it?
Nope.
Right, so we'll give it a stir. What did you say? 2 sugars?
Yeah. Not heat, just a little bit.
There's 1. And there's another. And how much milk would you like?
Just a little bit of milk, please.
Would you let me know when to stop?
Yeah, stop. Smells really nice.
Thank you.
Make sure you take the tea bag out and pop it in the bin. Be careful.
Right, so what you said do, you said take the tea bag, give it a squeeze. And
I
then
just like to,
we drain it.
Yeah. And then pop it in the bin.
And then we make sure no one's in the way. And we put it in the bin. And then we stir it.
Meal, that's really well.
And then, would you like to taste my cup of tea?
Not at the minute, as it's a bit hot, so I'll keep that. Remember, you don't drink the cup of tea straight away as it's boiling water. But that's perfect, just how I like it. I'm going to pop that there for now and I want you to take a seat back down again, okay? So that is the end of today's lesson on learning how to make a cup of tea. I'm just going to ask you for some feedback on how you think the lesson went. Do you feel like you are confident enough in making a cup of tea? Do you feel like you can do it safely? Do you feel like you've got the most out of today's lesson?
Yeah, I think you've took your time, you've been very precise. I think I've learned a lot today. I've learned about hot water, I've learned about wastage. I've learned quite a lot, to be honest, and I'm very, very grateful. And I'm gonna actually have a taste of your tea. Fantastic.
Well done.
I just hope my one's as good as this. I doubt it will be, but this is a fantastic cup of tea. And thank you so much.
Oh, you're more than welcome. I am glad you have enjoyed today's lesson, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.